celebrating the Cornish Pasty. Welcome to Mark and Pete, two blokes with half an opinion. Now, here's a thought.
Nasty pasty. A gaunt Cornish miner got terribly thin, so he packed his pasties with lots of tin. As he continued to dine, he ate the whole of the mine. Now he's more canny with shiny skin. Yes.
Yes,
Oh, well, there you go. Why not? It was only a word. Well, indeed. Now, as far as I'm concerned, a pasty is a sumptuous meal. Yes, and it's interesting because the fact of the matter is that the pasty has been around for a long, long time, very much associated with Cornwall.
Yes.
But what we will do is we'll talk about the history of the pasty, but more importantly is what it means for us today. Mr. Pete, I ask you, yum, yum, pasties. What's your experience of a pasty, and what's your guidance to those who are slightly hungry today?
Now, pasties are delicious. You've got pastry encapsulating some food of different types. The Cornish pasty is the creme de la creme special pasty because it's an entire meal inside. It's got potatoes, it's got vegetables, it's got the meat, it's got the gravy, it's got everything you could possibly want in a meal, all wrapped in a handy container that you eat. It's just perfect, isn't it? It's perfect for taking to work. It's perfect for eating as a snack when you're driving because it all holds together. It is also absolutely delicious. Better hot, I would say, but you can eat them cold. So what's not to like?
Well, indeed. Now, here's the irony, folks, because the word pasty, P-A-S-T-Y, derives from the medieval French word paste, meaning for pie. And what happened was that at the time was filled with venison, salmon, and other meat and vegetables, etc. Now we come to the Cornish connection. Now, lots of people will probably be very familiar that at one time, and it's still a little bit there today, but Cornwall had a lot of tin mines. And of course, miners, it was a very important economy at the time, certainly running through the early parts of Britain when you think about the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th centuries and onwards. But the fact is that what a lot of Cornish miners suffered from was how did they have a decent meal whilst they were actually mining tin? Not only was this, of course, a very harsh environment, but they needed sustenance. Well, hence the Cornish pasty developed. Now, what we know is it's a D-shaped sort of device or a pasty with a crimping around the curved shape. Inside, as Mr. Peters mentioned, it could contain various things. Typically, it would be meat or possibly vegetables. Now, the whole point behind this was it was very easy to handle, very easy to eat, especially if you were down in a mine. May I also make reference, please do not put tin in your Cornish pasty. That was a joke.
Yes.
But nevertheless,
yes, we got it. Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, it's a massive meal. It's a great meal. Now, here's the thing, because the Cornish pasty has been referenced several times through history. Here's a simple example. Now, one baker wrote to Henry VIII's third wife, Jane Seymour. Now, clearly, he was given this royal charter to provide food for Henry VIII's wife. And one such letter, which still exists today, and I quote, it says, "Hope this pasty reaches you in better condition than the last one."
This is the pasty being in better condition, not
well,
Jane
you would
Seymour.
hope that that's what he meant. Otherwise, maybe...
maybe he knew the king's
job.
reputation with wives. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing, because it goes on beyond that. Now, Samuel Pepys, yes, the famous diarist, he was in the mid-17th century, and he actually referenced several times the consumption of pasties. For instance, he quote here, he said, "Dined at Sir W. Penn's on a damned venison pasty that stunk like a devil." Now, there you go. I wonder what was really contained in that one. But the point being is that the Cornish pasty is synonymous with Cornwall. And it's very much something which now is really a sort of a heritage. We would certainly encourage anybody who is going to Cornwall to eat one. Now, here's my take on this, because if ever I go on a long journey, one of the things that I would typically take with me is a Cornish pasty. Why? Because if you buy them from the supermarkets, you can eat them cold.
Yeah,
So you
that's right.
don't
It's
have to
still
cook them.
tasty cold. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
It's
of course
absolutely.
it has to be. I mean, the Cornish pasty is the best type of pasty because it has everything in it. You've got an entire meal. Uh, but
Yes.
the Cornish pasty has to be like that if you call it a Cornish pasty, doesn't it? It has to have
Yes.
um, specific ingredients. It's protected under it's PGI, isn't it? Which is um, protected. I'm just looking up what it stands for. Protected Geographical Indication.
Yes,
The
correct.
European
Yes.
Union granted it in 2011, and I
Yes.
believe it's been retained by Britain, so it still has PGI status because Britain
Yes.
famously left the EU. But however, thankfully, the Cornish pasty still has that same status, so it's protected. So when you get when you buy something that's called a Cornish pasty, it really is that item. So that's another recommendation for it.
Yes. Well, there's also something even more important, folks,
Yes,
because yes, you could too can take part. What do we mean? Yes, there is even a competition for the world's fastest amateur Cornish pasty crimper.
of course.
Now, the point is, this is an annual event, and the Cornish Pasty Association, yes, there is a real association. The amateurs would come together, adults primarily, as well as some children, would take part to crimp the fastest pasty. And there
Yes.
would be a prize. So it means that, if you're pretty good at it, you could actually gain this great accolade. Now, I will say that I'm quite tempted by this because I wonder how many crimpers are out there. So there's hundreds of people who take
Now,
part in this event.
yeah, I mean we're recording this just at the end of Cornish Pasty Week, 2025. So this is hot off the press. That there was,
Literally.
and hope some of the pasties were hot as well. Yes, the
Exactly.
crimping, the pasty crimping, is of course very important that it's done well, but it being able to done fast, of course, just increases the profitability. So the world's fastest amateur pasty crimper is really valuable to the industry, is he not? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think we have it publicly announced who won, but certainly someone who can, with great precision, crimp three pasties with at least 18 crimps.
Yes.
That's real skill, isn't it?
It's a lot of skill and fastest finger first,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah. I mean, at that event,
Yes.
I mean, you've missed it this year, folks, but it's worth going
Uh,
along to. I mean, last year in 2024, they raised £20,000 for their community fund as well, which is known as the Cornish Pasty Community Fund. Cornish
yes.
pasties just
I'd
do
like
everything.
I'd like to just introduce another element to this
Yes.
because we've been talking about savory meals because a really adventurous Cornish pasty, I'm not making this up, folks, has one section, half of it, filled with meat. So essentially, that is your main course meal. But the other half could be filled with fruit. And that means that basically your two meals in one.
Yeah.
It has been done. I will say, for those people who I know have tried them, mixed responses.
Right.
But I can
Okay.
see the advantage.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
So,
this when you get to the middle section, folks, just be very careful because meat with some fruit doesn't always go down well.
no.
But that chunky nature of the product is great, and we're all for it.
Now, just to say, we are British. We're in England, and Cornwall is technically part of England. But many Cornish people actually see themselves as being in a separate country. Cornwall has its own
Yeah,
culture and heritage, and
Pastyland.
and it's good to celebrate that they have this very uh, specific culture, and of course one of the main things of any culture is the cuisine. And if you've got the Cornish pasty as your headline cuisine, then if they're going separate, I think I'll have to go and join them.
Yes.
Like
Now you
Britain left
mentioned
the
about
EU, if
Cornwall.
Cornwall leaves
Oh yeah,
England,
yeah, yeah.
which they have, there
Absolutely.
were mutterings that they'd like to do that. I can't see it ever happening. But if they
No,
did, I'd
but here's
have to try and get hold of some place to live where I could still get the pasties.
yes, but so as we sort of think about the end of the show, for those people who do actually go there, here's a little tip. A pasty is known in Cornwall as a tiddy oggy. Which,
Yeah.
when steak is replaced with an extra potato, tiddy meaning potato, and oggy meaning pasty, and was eaten when times were hard and expensive meat could not be afforded.
Yes.
It sounds a bit familiar here.
Yes. Well, yes, and therefore it became a whole meal because you got the potato in there as well.
Yes.
Yes. Well, with times going hard, with the globalist elite fighting back and wanting to take over the whole world and make us just eat bugs, just imagine if you could get hold instead of some Cornish pasties, you'd be living like a king, even with the New World Order in place. So let us know what your opinions are of the Cornish pasty when you try one, if you haven't. And please do let us know how you got on. And if you ever have a go at crimping, let us know too, because you may be listening to this in 2026 or beyond. So it'd be great to hear from you. If you leave a comment, we'll be sure to feature you in a future special episode on comments, which you do occasionally. And all you have to do is go to markandpete.com, make sure you're subscribed, and you can comment on this and in fact every episode. And if you're hungry, go and grab a Cornish pasty. But that's it from Mark and myself for this week. Catch you next time.